extremely online, and I'm mad. I'm extremely online, and I'm sad. I'm extremely online, and I have so many feelings, and I'm also racist. Yeah! Oh yeah, I'm fucking racist as hell. I'm an incel bitch, and the N-bomb is about to drop. Yeah, yeah. I'm extremely
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Burn Pile. I hope everybody had a great week. It's really, really hot outside. Way too hot where I am. I look at the sun at like 6 p.m., and I just look at it and I think, what the hell are you doing right now? Why are you up there? Do you have any idea what time it is? I've been spending this week watching a lot of GDQ. GDQ is, of course, the Games Done Quick speedrunning, video game speedrunning marathon done for charity. And very, very heavy on the trans rights thing this year. Much heavier than usual. Every female speedrunner, every alleged female speedrunner seems to be perhaps not fully female, and every heterosexual appearing male seems to be a firm ally. Let's say a firm ally. But they're not even raising money for trans issues. They're raising money for Doctors Without Borders, which I'm sure does some kind of evil trans stuff to children, but it's mostly harmless. Certainly, surely Doctors Without Borders, nothing nefarious is going on there. But every game, they're like there's a donation incentive to name like a character in an RPG or whatever that they're playing, and like it's always like trans rights. This guy was playing like Roller Coaster Tycoon. He got some kind of world record in Roller Coaster Tycoon, and it was really entertaining. But then it's like he named his roller coaster trans rights, and he built like 30 trans rights roller coasters, and it's all that they're talking about. It's incredibly annoying. Why can't there be a nice right-wing fascist autistic thing? I mean, that's like there's two ways to go when you're like an anime fan, right? It's into you either go on HRT or you become a fascist, you become a Hitler guy, right? And sometimes you do both. Sometimes it's both. And, unfortunately, the mainstream forces that exist and where all the monetization and everything is going to be on the HRT side. So we don't get the full embrace of the fascism latent in Japanese culture. We don't get to see that. We only get it filtered through people who want to people who look at the anime little girls and want to be them, instead of the natural healthy thing, which is want to fuck them, which is what the original intent was. But that intent is lost on it's lost on some Westerners who are into anime, into games. Let's see, what else with me? I've been reading. I read a lot. I read through Blood Meridian again. I only read Blood Meridian for the first time about 2 years ago. And I remember when it was because I had started reading Blood Meridian summer of 2023. And about 2 days after I started reading it, the news came out that Cormac McCarthy died. And so I was walking around with a copy of Blood Meridian looking like I had just started reading it because of the news. So I looked like a total poser. But I had read All the Pretty Horses, I think when I was in high school. And then I read The Road pretty soon after that. But for some reason I had skipped Blood Meridian. So I finally read that about 2 years ago, and then I read it again just this week. And it's a everyone says it's this classic, it's the great American novel. It's an excellent novel. I would recommend everybody read it. Is it is it up there with Moby Dick? Is it really this really transcendent work? I just don't know if I would go that far. It's very, very good. Definitely read it. Unquestionably, all the good things people say about it are true. Is it the great American novel? I don't know. I don't know if I could go that far. I'm not sure. There's lots of cool stuff in it. You can read it, you can reread it. But for me, it's just I don't know. I feel like there's something missing. And is the thing missing? Is it intentionally missing? And I'm retarded? Probably. Can I articulate what is missing? No, my IQ is too low. But I would say what's in the epilogue. What's in the epilogue, which is like 3 paragraphs long, or it's like one long paragraph. It's 1 page long. Give me 50 pages of that and have it spread throughout the narrative instead of at the epilogue. And then you've probably got the great American novel. You've got something a little more interesting than what Blood Meridian is. But nevertheless, read Blood Meridian and study the tarot to help you read Blood Meridian. I don't know. Let's see. I guess I'm going to reread Notes from Underground. I'm doing a lot of rereading lately. So that'll also take me about a week to get through. Or I think it's really short. Maybe it'll only take me an evening to get through. Notes from Underground, if I remember, it's like what every bit of autofiction on Substack is like nowadays. But it's it's from a long time ago, so it's better. I really need to read something more recent. I'd like to read a novel that came out like this year. Why don't I do that sometime? I guess I will, and I'll review it. All right. Well, we've got a lot of interesting news. Interesting news this week. I did have prepared. So there was this guy, this Korean YouTuber. He was like this 50-year-old guy, and he was going to the Philippines. This was his YouTube channel. He goes to the Philippines, and he goes to these like poor families, and he kind of documents their poverty. And it was kind of like like people who criticize that, they would call it like poverty porn, because he's like, you could consider that exploitive, I guess, because he's, it's like, look how poor these people are. Oh my God. Right. But there's a lot of channels like that. They're not just Korean people in the Philippines, but it's whoever, wherever. Right. But he had a channel, I guess it was reasonably successful. And then he has all these videos where he's like helping. I guess he solicits donations, right, from the audience. And so, he has all these videos, and he's like, he's like, hey, look at this poor family. It's like a single dad. Look at these 2 girls. The one's 12, the one's 11, and this is the house they live in, and it's like the house has problems. It's a really poor area. Everything's not clean on the streets outside. And it's like, won't you please donate? And then, they use the money and they fix things up a little bit, and like it's funding his life in the Philippines too, this channel. And then so I had this all prepared because it came out that he was arrested. He had a baby with a 14-year-old Filipino girl. And so she was probably 13 when she got pregnant. And she was probably one of the girls in his videos, I think. So I had this prepared for us to read the story and then go watch his YouTube videos, because the channel was up when I was researching this. Whatever. There aren't enough air quotes in the world to call what I do researching. But when I was clicking on links and giggling about this, but the channel, unfortunately, YouTube took it down. Come on, YouTube. Come on. Why even have an internet if we're going to delete it when someone turns out to be a criminal? Come on. What are we doing here? But yeah, I mean, I guess that would be in horrible taste. Maybe YouTube did me a favor. This show, it's all about good taste. We don't really like to make off-color jokes. We don't like to say things that could be misconstrued as mocking victims of crimes, because this is a female-focused true crime podcast where we mock the perpetrators but not the victims. I've never mocked a victim on this show. I never would. And I certainly wouldn't mock the children that he was doing whatever he did with, but it was just very funny to go watch the channel and have him being like, look at the better life I'm providing for these kids. And then that he's actually... Well, okay, well, hold on, Your Honor. Excuse me. He was soliciting donations to take care of Filipino children. He never said that they weren't his Filipino children that he was having by impregnating young teen Filipino girls. In a way, he's kind of being honest. I mean, a guy like that soliciting donations, and you think, is my donation really going to these Filipino kids, or is it going to his hotel rooms and his flights and his whatever in the Philippines? Well, I think you have your answer. Those donations were 100%. That money was going into the hands of Filipino children. Of that, we can be sure, Your Honor. So who's the liar? Okay? What did he really do wrong? All right, but before, like Virginia Giuffre, who killed herself because of the Epstein thing, I said the ball was on the line because she was 17 when whatever happened. 13 and 14 is a lot different. The ball's pretty far off the line. Pretty hard to defend. The ball is very far off the line at that point. It's not great. That's going to be a rough one. It's also rough being 50. I mean, it'd be rough for like a 20-year-old and a 13-year-old, but being 50, that's a tough sell. That's a tough sell to any judge, I would say. Well, okay, let's move on. Let's get back to what our greatest ally has been up to. As we all know, the copium deposits were struck. My copium deposits were badly damaged. We don't know if they're destroyed as far as support for Trump goes. My copium deposits, I of course was keeping in Iran, deep inside an underground nuclear bunker. And the copium deposits are also perhaps being threatened by how much we're still deciding to protect Jeffrey Epstein. Um, well, you know, hey, if Trump's name is on the list, okay, fine. Was she 17 or was she 13? That's what I want to know. Release, because I got to decide how far I'm going to go down this road defending him and our greatest ally. But anyway, whether it's a 17-year-old or a 13-year-old, whatever it is, it's got Trump by the balls, and we are continuing to support Israel. Although he said, "What the fuck is their problem?" which was kind of cool. That's my copium deposits coming back up. Sorry about that. But let's see, what's Israel up to? What's going on? This is from the timesofisrael.com. Tebeh Church leaders condemn rising settler harassment, arson in West Bank town. Heads of Greek Orthodox, Latin, and Melkite churches in Christian Palestinian bastion say settlers increasingly encroaching on agricultural lands, burned field near historic site. Now, this is Times of Israel, so this isn't quite worded the way I first heard of this. What I heard was the settlers burned the Church of St. George. But I guess the Times of Israel is running cover a little bit. They're saying it's they burned some agricultural sites near the ruins of the Church of St. George. So let's see. The heads of 3 churches in the Christian West Bank town of Tebeh condemned a recent spate of settler attacks and harassment in the community, including a fire that was allegedly set by settlers on Monday right next to the archaeological site of the ruins of the 5th century Church of St. George. The heads of the Greek Orthodox Church, Latin Church, and Melkite Greek Catholic Church said in a Tuesday missive that illegal settlement outposts have been established at the eastern edge of Tebeh of late, and said a new routine has taken hold in which settlers graze their cattle on agricultural land in the town almost every day. They called for an immediate and transparent investigation into the attacks, saying they threatened our very existence on this land. Tebeh sits just to the west of a part of the West Bank that has seen severe settler harassment of local Palestinian populations in recent years. Whole communities of Bedouin sheep herders have been abandoned under what their former residents say are increasingly brazen threats from Israeli extremists, expanding illegal outposts in the area. Now, I don't really believe in like taking in refugees or anything, but if I were like king of America, I think what I would do to get the Protestant churches that have these Israeli flags like in the sanctuary under control is I would start like sending them Palestinian Christian refugees, like have some government like USAID program grants sponsoring like Palestinian Christians specifically, and it's like, okay, you go to this like Assemblies of God church where they have Israeli flags, and you go explain to them what's going on. You're going to go settle there. This family will. You're going to go to this Methodist church over here, and just like seed them all over the country so that people realize that Israel is not your fucking friend, and they're not going to make Jesus come back faster if they kill enough Muslims. They're not Christian. They're not on your side. Speaking of Protestants, and I was raised Protestant, and I guess I pretty much still am. I mean, gun to my head, I believe in everything, and I just can't get on board with Catholicism or Orthodoxy. I was looking into both of them a lot over these last few months, and they both just suck, and I just remain a one of the rare non-gay Protestants still. Let's see here. I have okay. I've got a great Protestant minister here talking about buying. This is Jesse Duplantis. This is a tweet from Protestia on X. Here he is talking about buying a $37,000 jeweled peacock.
Well, I walked into Neiman Marcus and I see this beautiful peacock by J. Strongwater. Oh, it's got 13,000 Austrian crystals on it. And there's this other female peacock. I said, who is she? That's his girlfriend. Man, that thing's beautiful too. Good Lord. I mean, just silver and jewels. And I said, good God Almighty, look at this thing. He said, well, it sells for $29,000 with tax. I said, how much is this girlfriend? And he said, I think it was $7,000 or $8,000. No, 29. $37,000 with tax for both of them. So I paid him, right? $34,000 plus tax, be $37,000. He said, okay, well, we'll ship it to you. I said, you don't need to ship it to me. I have my own plane. Well, you have your own plane? I said, yes, sir. I got a van downstairs. Put it in a box, and I'm taking it out of here. It will be in my white ballroom in my house by 3:30 this afternoon.
You know that that expression? It's let's see if I don't want to fuck this up. It's like a good scam artist knows when to leave town, and a great scam artist never has to. I mean, this guy, he's like, he's talking about buying a fucking crystal peacock to his congregation. These people are supposed to be giving 10% of their paycheck to his church, and his church is paying him a salary like this. You know, this church he's led, he's able to buy a $37,000 jeweled peacock. There's got to be something. I don't know, because I keep thinking like the Catholic Church is probably right about like, well, if you don't have some central authority, then anybody can make their own church and they're all on the same level, and you're going to have like just cranks saying whatever. And it's hard to argue with them because they're completely right about that. That's like 100% what happened. You know, most pastors are like living middle class or below existences. Of course, they have like if you're like a like a Methodist pastor or whatever, there's like a parish house, which is like a family home built right next to the church where you live. So like your living expense is taken care of. You don't own that house. The church owns it, but you live there, and I don't think you pay rent or anything. And then you're paid your salary from out of the tithe, which is completely reasonable. The Bible even specifically says like the worker is worthy of his wages. So that's fine. That's completely fine. And I also like, in Catholicism, not Orthodoxy because they can get married, but in Catholicism, the priests, most of them can't get married, so they don't have families, so the church isn't supporting a family. Protestants don't believe in that, so their church leaders should be able to raise a family on their salary. I think that's also normal and reasonable, and that's good. But like what's going on here, and I mean, it's just this endless joke where people indict all of Christianity with it because of this like small subset of American Protestants who are like this. I mean, I don't know, like if you just read the Bible for yourself, Jesus like explicitly hates rich people. Like he explicitly says it's like almost impossible for a rich person to get into heaven. You can argue about that a little bit and what is rich or whatever. But like this guy's way over the line. This guy's not 17, he's 13 with this. I mean, you're bragging about your crystal peacock? You can't brag about your crystal peacock. It's too much. Too much. All right. Well, enough about that. I've had enough. Let's get back to you're going to think that this next story, you're going to think that I've already told you this one before. but I swear that I haven't. I swear that this is a new story. Really. You're going to say, no, you did this one before. No, this is a new story. Okay? Ready? Against illegal immigration, but married to someone here illegally. Chris Allred's views were shaped by economic changes. Now, facing an immigration crackdown, where do he and his wife go from here? This story has everything. This is a great story. I went to sleep at night and I believe that I dreamed this story into existence so that it could occur on this podcast. This is a beautiful story. So you've got this retarded guy, Chris Allred, and he's this middle-aged, bald, white faggot underachiever guy. Grew up in a farm in western Arkansas. And he finally found love in middle age. And she's well, let's get into who she is, okay? Let's see. This New York Times article: in the northwest corner of Arkansas, immigrants, mostly from Mexico, began arriving in the 1980s to work in the region's thriving poultry industry. I hate this thing the New York Times does. They when they want to do an important story, and air quotes like important story, they have to do this huge background on everything. Like, just tell me about the bald retard, for God's sakes. Okay, Mr. Allred, a recruiter at a trucking company, does not like people who enter the country illegally. He believes they are, quote, an army of takers, filling spots in emergency rooms and schools that American citizens have to pay for. He does not like President Trump either. Fag. You should love Trump, even though he went back on all his promises and Epstein's list will never come out because he's honest. He's on it. If you don't like him, you're still gay. I'm sorry, that's the way it is. But one of the reasons he voted for him, he did vote for him, okay, was it actually seemed as though he would take action on immigration. We don't have an industrial base anymore, Mr. Allred told me over dinner at his apartment in Bentonville. We have trillions in national debt. It's impossible. We can't take on millions more people. It's financially not possible. But something has happened in Mr. Allred's life that is bumping against this view. He finally met and married the love of his life, and his wife is in the country illegally. Mr. Allred's story may be unusual, but his views of immigration are not. For many Americans, a loose border is like a house, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, New York Times, I'm not gay. Like, I don't need an explanation for why people oppose illegal immigration. You don't need to take a paragraph and explain, oh my goodness, why would there be people? Well, because they see it as a loose door that, shut up. I know why people don't like it. Normal, sane people don't like it. All right. Mr. Allred, 48, grew up on a farm in western Arkansas. He watched as his father, a machinist, struggled to navigate a rapidly changing economy. His father lost 3 factory jobs when the companies that employed him either closed or moved their production abroad, including to Mexico. He tried raising chickens, but ended up losing his investment. Mr. Allred went to college, blah, blah, blah. He went from job to job, worked in pool maintenance, ad sales at a newspaper, HIV counseling, and as a security guard at a nightclub. HIV counseling. Good Lord. The jobs people do in America. HIV counseling. You have HIV because you're gay, I guess? Do you know what PrEP is? Have you heard of PrEP? Just Googling here. If you're gay and you're having gay sex, go on PrEP so that you don't get HIV. Oh, you already have it? I don't know. Maybe, I guess when you're about to fuck some guy in the ass, you got to tell him you have it. And then either he's a bug chaser and he'll say, "Oh hell yeah," or you need to tell him about PrEP, I guess. I mean, what is HIV counseling? I could, that I was shitting on it. That doesn't sound that bad. I feel like I could do what I just said right there. I think what I just said is like all the HIV counseling that there is, right? Like gay guys, they're still men. They're not going to be all like weepy about it, right? I don't want to counsel any like woman who has HIV. And she's going to be like, "My husband said that he got HIV. He must have got it when there was a mosquito in our room, and the mosquitoes, it must have bit someone who had HIV, and then it got him, and then he gave it to me, and my husband said that's what happened." Your husband is gay. He got fucked in the ass. Then he fucked you. Now you have HIV. Yeah, I don't want to do that. Anything where there's women involved, I don't want that. But if I could get, because the gay guys are going to be like, "You have HIV," and they're going to be like, "Yes, how, you mean I didn't have it before? I'm so gay. I thought I had it. I thought the first time I got an erection looking at a boy when I was a little boy and I was looking at the lifeguard at the swimming pool, my dick got hard. I thought I got HIV at that moment when I was 13 years old." I'm like, no, you got it. The test results are back. You got it last month when you got fucked in the ass by the wrong guy. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I don't think there's that much emotion in it with the gay guys. I think it would be totally fine. He should have stayed with that job. Okay, going back, that was a little tangent there. Sorry, everybody. Two things broke the cycle for our hero here. In 2018, he got a job he liked, working for a trucking company that was part of the now booming economy of Northwest Arkansas. Doubt. Northwest Arkansas, booming anything. Doubt. Serious doubt. And he moved back to the farm to take care of his beloved grandmother, Lita Mae Alred, who was 92. She told him that she prayed every day. She told him that she prayed every day that he would find someone to marry. And when she died, on his 44th birthday, he promised himself he would try. So what is this guy, like a virgin or something? He's like a 44-year-old virgin, and he had been, when he was like 40 in his late 30s and stuff, he's doing HIV counseling. Absolutely devastating psychologically. Okay. In the summer of 2023, using a dating app, he matched with a woman in southern Illinois. Her name was Galeni, and she was from Ecuador. She was cute, he thought, and talkative. Buddy, this is not who 92-year-old Lita Mae Alred was praying for. This was the only person I've ever been on text with for 12 hours nonstop. I've never been like that, he told me over dinner. Galeni, who goes by Gelly, had prepared an Ecuadorian dish of spicy fish soup. I believe that probably every couple that listens to Burn Pile Together is something like this. Everybody out there, all the BitChute listeners, the people who just downloaded it recently, this is what I imagine. I think it's like really dumb, retarded, racist white guys, and it's their ethnic wives, and they're making Ecuadorian spicy fish stew together. Okay. She had told Mr. Allred how she had moved from her small town in the capital of Quito, where she worked her way up in a media company, but lost the job when the company closed. She started a restaurant in the town she was from, but lost it in a flood. She decided the way to get ahead financially was to go to the United States. So she left her 3 children, now ages 5, 8, and 23, with her father and paid a coyote to make the trip. All right, now imagine this. You're Lita Mae Alred, white Arkansas 92-year-old woman. you have this loser, dipshit grandson, but he's the only one who's come back to take care of you. And as you're dying, you pray to God that he will find a nice girl and get married. Now, let me ask you a question. Are you imagining a woman from Ecuador with 3 children by what's got to be at least 2 different men already? Because one of them's 23. The others are 3 and 8. The 3 and 8-year-old, maybe they're from the same guy. Probably not. But the 23-year-old, no way, right? Right. Now, sweet little Letta May, when she's praying to God, oh, dear Lord, I gave the money so the pastor could have that crystal peacock, and I'm hoping that you give Chris a nice white woman. You know that's what she was praying for, right? You know that's what she wanted. You can't even pretend. Come on. This is ridiculous. The more they talked, the more he felt attached. Stick by your principles, please, people. Stick by your... Just because you're 44 years old and have never known the touch of a woman, and a lady with 3 children, including 1 adult child, whom she abandoned all of them, by the way. She abandoned a 5-year-old and an 8-year-old to do this, by the way. And then she gives you a little attention. She texts you for 12 hours on a dating app, and all your principles about immigration go out the window. God, fucking damn it! I hate these people so much. And by these people, you might flinch at that. You think I'm talking about the lady? No, the lady's just doing what women do, and what certain populations do. I don't get mad at a dog barking out on the street. I ask, where's the owner? Okay? I'm not mad at this lady. I'm mad at the white guy. Come on. Get it to... if this white... I would be on this white guy's side. If this woman were like... If he's 44 and he's this, disgusting loser guy that he is, and she was like this unbelievably sexy South American, like 19-year-old model or something. And he was like, yeah, fuck my immigration. Who cares? Just pay the coyote to get her over. Just if he was like human trafficking her himself and she was like really hot, I would 100% be on his side. I would be saying that Trump should pardon him and her, and this should be celebrated. This would be a brilliant love story. I would love this. What's going on now is just disgusting. He's throwing it all away for this woman who is gross. She's nothing. She's a horrible person. She abandoned her children. Okay. I just knew I had to help. No, he doesn't sound like that, I'm sure. I just knew I had to help her, he said. It was late when he walked into the bar where she told him to meet her. He was nervous. As soon as they saw each other, he said they kissed. Mr. Allred calls it their Hollywood moment. Pussy inflation, absolutely out of control. Out of control. I knew I loved her from that exact time. I just knew, he said. I call it the spark. He told her he'd pay for a ticket back to Ecuador, or she could come to Arkansas with him. She chose Arkansas. Yeah, of course, she doesn't want to go back to those kids. He proposed later that summer. Letta May. Letta May, be careful with those prayers. To which God did you pray, Letta May? They got married on Letta May's birthday, December 30th, in Liberty Baptist Church. Here we go. In Dutch Mills, Arkansas. The church she had belonged to for 75 years. Okay, come on. Come on, Liberty Baptist Church. Have some standards. Don't, like, Catholics not let you get married if you've been married before or if you're too ridiculous. Don't they have some standards? You can't just come in and, like, you can't just have a coyote bring in some some bitch who abandoned 3 children and get married. But the Baptist church, they're just like, whatever. You give me 10% of your HIV counseling salary so I can buy the peacock. And yeah, you can bring whoever you want here. You can get, I don't care who you marry. Now we're in Arkansas, so you can't marry like a man or something, but anybody else, anything else you want, hey buddy, it's your tithe, it's your 10%. You bring whoever you want here. All right. She's the woman that my grandma prayed for me to find, Mr. Allred said. No. No, she ain't, buddy. She's not. Mr. Allred's objection to illegal immigration started with what he saw growing up. Arkansas. This is because this is like a profound piece in the New York Times. So it's more background here. It's like, well, how did? I don't understand. I'm in New York and I don't understand. Can you explain to me why Mr. Allred, growing up in Arkansas, came to oppose illegal immigration? Can you please? I don't. Huh? What? Can I get a little more background? I understand him falling in love with a strong, independent woman who abandoned her children. That's beautiful and human, and it shows that even people we disagree with can have this human side. And I like. But New York Times, can you just give a little more background on how is it? How did he oppose illegal immigration in the first place? I don't. Can you explain? Mr. Allred's objection to illegal immigration started with what he saw growing up. Arkansas jobs, like his father's going to Mexico. Oh, did Arkansas jobs go to Mexico? Oh, I didn't know that. Where is Arkansas? And the jobs, what do you mean the jobs go to Mexico? That's weird. My trust fund that comes from my dad's executive job in New York. My dad's executive job didn't go to Mexico. Do some jobs go to Mexico? Oh, do people not like immigration because some jobs go to Mexico and some illegal immigrants from Mexico come and do those jobs? Oh, is that? But it's really because they're racist, right? But this guy was racist, and then he fell in love with a beautiful woman from Ecuador. Is that what happened? And his grandma prayed at their simple little church. Now I know God isn't real, but in a humanist way, did his mom kind of put that out into the universe, and the universe answered with this perfect woman who? God, if only Iran would have finished a nuclear weapon. If only Iran would have decided to take care of some problems out there in the world. No, I'm kidding. Iran didn't have an ICBM. Now, North Korea, on the other hand. North Korea? North Korea, they often say they've got like 1 or maybe 2 nuclear weapons, and they're always testing those ICBMs, okay? If there's 2 nuclear weapons, there's Los Angeles and there's New York City, right? Huh? You listening, North Korea? You listening to me? You have the opportunity to do the funniest thing. Okay. So this is all about, like, why doesn't he like illegal immigrants? You don't have to read it. This is funny. While the reporter's there. Baby, I have a question. This is his wife. Before me, you didn't like illegal immigrants? I still don't, he said. Okay, I'm kind of back on his side. That's kind of funny. That is funny to say to your illegal immigrant wife. I do like that. Baby, before me, you didn't like black people? This is what your black wife is saying to you. I'm like, I still don't. That's awesome. That's really funny. Okay. And he's got a sense of humor. He's probably cool to hang out with. I like him again. She laughed and turned to me to explain. He doesn't like bad immigrants. He doesn't like lazy immigrants who take all that's free in this country. Maybe he likes good immigrants, smart, hard-working immigrants who abandon their children like me. I added the last part. Mr. Allred dipped into dessert, a slice of tiramisu. He acknowledged that there was an inconsistency between his views and his experience with his wife. I'm a walking contradiction, he said, smiling. He said if he'd known that Mrs. Allred had immigrated illegally from the beginning, he doubts he would have pursued a relationship with her. I may have said, hey, you know what? Guess what? Have a nice life. Good luck, he said. But he was in love, so he called a lawyer. Okay, so basically the rest of this story, he gets a lawyer, and they have to go like wait in line, and like she has to file to be a refugee, but I guess they decide not to do that. So their only option now is for him to go to Ecuador with her. And so he's going to Ecuador. He's giving up his whole life and he's going to Ecuador, and he's terrified. And it says he admits he is terrified. He has been staying up late, doom scrolling murder rates in Ecuadorian cities. Okay, now let me ask you really, because I've joked a lot about this, but in all honesty, really, seriously, in your heart of hearts, do you think this is what his grandma prayed for? Is this what his grandmother actually prayed for? That he's going to go, he's doom scrolling murder rates. He's now 44, I think by the end of this, it said he's 48. He's going to be 48 years old. The only woman who ever gave him any attention is an Ecuadorian immigrant, illegal immigrant, who abandoned her family in Ecuador. And now to stay together with her, he has to abandon his whole life and everything and go to Ecuador, and he's terrified, and he's up late doom scrolling murder rates, and he's going to be a white guy in Ecuador, a scared pussy white guy in Ecuador. That's his fate now. Do you really think that's what his grandmother prayed for? How many Israeli flags do you think are at that Baptist church where they got married, by the way? I mean, I hate everyone involved in this. I hate that church. I hate his retarded grandmother who died. I hate him, except for his one good joke making fun of his wife. And the wife, I don't know. It's tough to hate the wife. She's just playing the game. What can you say? She's going to, if the wife, this was, what will make me really redeem, what would totally redeem the wife in my eyes, what would be the funniest thing ever and would make this whole thing hilarious, is if when they get back to Ecuador, she just drops him. She's just like, well, what? I'm not going to stay with your white ass. Like, now that I have to live in Ecuador again. What's the point of sucking your dick? Fuck you. Like, if she does that, that's actually extremely, if she does that, I'm going to marry her. Because that's hilarious. That's really, really cool. Anyway, I hope it doesn't work out. Losers, go to hell. Let's see. Lots of other interesting things. Let's go. I guess we'll end it with this one. This one got my attention because I'm a good sweet boy from New Jersey. New York Post. A daughter of New Jersey police chief accuses him others of ritualistic abuse, years of assault. The daughter of a New Jersey police chief claims he repeatedly raped her for more than a decade as part of a ritualistic cult allegedly involving their neighbors, according to a shocking lawsuit she filed. Courtney Tamagni's allegations against Leonia Police Chief Scott Tamagni, his neighbor Kevin Slevin, and others have starkly divided the small Bergen County borough. Both men say that the claims were thoroughly investigated as high as the federal government and determined to be unfounded. Slevin has countersued Courtney for defamation. Well, the thing is, satanic ritualistic abuse cases, they gotta go on. You can't be like, oh, it's CSI. We're going to do blood samples and DNA and fingerprints and footprints in the woods. You can't do any of that. You got to throw all of that out in the garbage. When it's a satanic ritual abuse case, the rules are different, and you've got to go purely on vibes. It has to be a vibes-based decision. Who's innocent? Who's guilty? Who did what to who and when? And I've got some bad news for the defendants here. The neighbor who was supposedly involved in this, did you hear me say his name? Did you hear what it was? Did you catch this? Because this jumped out to me immediately. His name is Kevin Slevin. I'm sorry, but if you come to me with any accusation against someone named Kevin Slevin, I will believe you. I am never, ever, ever going to be in favor of Kevin Slevin. I am never taking Kevin Slevin's side. If you say that Kevin Slevin put on robes and sacrificed animals and committed crimes against children, I believe you. And Kevin Slevin's defamation lawsuit, I would throw in the garbage. Okay. Let's continue on, shall we? But Courtney has taken her claims public, appearing on podcasts and social media to describe the alleged sex abuse in detail and sparking a Change.org petition to suspend her cop dad. Can you just take anything? The Change.org thing, it just seems like such a joke. You can just be like, I mean, I guess you can just do anything. Like, I can just go to change.org and be like, Kevin Slevin is guilty. Please sign here if you agree. Like, what is a change? Why are there online petitions? What is the point of this? Now, I did say I think I would always side against Kevin Slevin. And if we're being a little more objective, going on podcasts and making a change.org petition does seem to imply that you're lying, right? That does make you think the person's not telling the truth, right? Okay, let's see. The 20-year-old claims her father and Slevin heinously abused her in their home alongside ritualistic worshipers in the woods near their house, and that the father allegedly threatened to murder her mother if she ever spoke up, according to court docs. Courtney was brought into the woods in Rockland County, New York, and there was what appeared to be other middle-aged men present with masks on their faces, the lawsuit claimed. She recalls there being fire and animals being burned, and they would chant as if ritualistic. She was sexually assaulted in those woods by defendant Slevin, defendant father, and some of the other men present, it further claimed. The alleged abuse began in 2009, when Courtney was around 4 years old, with the lawsuit claiming it continued until 2020, when she was 15. Both of Courtney's sisters were also allegedly subjected to abuse, according to the lawsuit, with their father allegedly using drugs to sedate them before assaulting them when their mother was either away or asleep with earplugs in a downstairs bedroom. The mother, Jeanne Tamagni, joined Courtney as a plaintiff on the lawsuit and is in the process of divorcing her husband. Well, I gotta say, sounds a little like bullshit. Let's read on. Courtney also claims she suppressed memories of the abuse for years as a survival tactic, and that she only began recalling them after a visit to a doctor for genital pain. Okay, so it's completely made up. The doctor asked her if she had been sexually abused, which brought back flashbacks, the suit claims. That sounds fake. The therapist eventually reported the abuse to authorities in 2022, the court papers say. She describes those alleged memories in detail on the podcast We're All Insane in April, claiming that generations of her father's bloodline had been in a satanic cult alongside numerous neighbors in their North Jersey town, and that they ritualistically raped her and her siblings, and even allegedly trafficked children and burned them alive in their local woods. Well, going on vibes, you've got to convict. Going on reality, it sounds completely made up. Sounds a little made up to me. I mean, it just sounds... Her dad looks like a fat, retarded guy who probably lacks the sophistication to do something like that. You know, he doesn't look like he's from a bloodline. He looks like, an American mutt mixed with all the gross white immigrants who came from Europe, like post 1860. He doesn't even look like an old stock American. He just looks like a hunk of shit. I don't think he has it in him, Not that he's like not evil enough. I just think he's too dumb. I don't think he could follow like all the mystical steps you needed to do to sacrifice an animal and and do all the ritualistic rape. Right? But I guess homework will be to listen to that podcast where the daughter's speaking. I feel that way. I've mentioned I listen to Soft White Underbelly all the time, that YouTube channel, where he interviews mostly like pimps and prostitutes and drug addicts on Skid Row. But sometimes he'll interview like someone who has like a really interesting survival story. This girl could even end up on that show. And I'd say like a third of them, they sound made up. It's like a woman describing some kind of like pattern of abuse, and it's like sometimes it's like her father abused her, and then a cousin did it, and then her first husband did it, and then her second husband did it. And at a certain point, you get like 45 minutes into the life story, and you're like, I think 80 to 100% of this is just made up. Now, this one is even worse because it's like, oh, I had no memories of these things. And then I started going to a therapist and having, quote unquote, flashbacks because my life is a movie and I have flashbacks. Yeah, I can't get totally on board with that. That doesn't really make sense to me. I think we should just throw Kevin Slevin in prison just for his name, and let everyone else go free, and maybe take the 20-year-old girl who's she's kind of hot, and let's send her to the guy with the Ecuadorian wife. Let's deport the Ecuadorian wife. Okay, this is the wisdom of Solomon right here. We're going to deport the Ecuadorian wife. We're going to nullify the marriage. And we're going to send the 20-year-old schizo girl who claims the satanic abuse. We'll send her to that fat 48-year-old retard. They can have some schizo, bitter loser white children there in Arkansas. And in that way, we can truly restore America and make it great again. Huh? Interested? What do you think?
I am not having a normal one. I am not a decent guy. I am not touching I'm extremely online, and I'm sad. I'm extremely online, and I have so many feelings, and I'm also racist. Yeah! Oh yeah, I'm fucking racist as hell. I'm an incel bitch, and the N-bomb is about to drop. Yeah, yeah! I'm extremely online, and I'm dangerous. I'm extremely online, and I'm dangerous. I'm extremely online, and I'm dangerous. No one is gonna take me live. It'll take 3 gun fed to low me out. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I am not having a normal one. I'm not a decent guy. I am not touching grass. I don't even go outside. I live underground at my mother's house, and I can't say when I logged in because I never log out. I'm extremely online and dangerous. I'm extremely online and dangerous. I'm extremely online and dangerous. No one is gonna take me alive. It'll take 310 fed to lock me out. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. I am not having a normal one. I am not a decent guy. I am not touching grass. I don't even go outside. I live